Connection. I'm Mira Rubin here with you on Enlightened World Network. Let's take a moment to bring ourselves present before we get started. Take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a second or two, and exhale any tension in your neck or your back, your shoulders, your hips, your knees. And take another deep breath in. And hold it again for a second or two. And release any remaining tension in your body. And let's gently place our palms together and softly rub your fingers against your palms. Feel your fingertips. Feel your palms. And allow yourself to come present in this moment, right here, right now. So this morning, I would love to speak about service versus helping. And service is, well, let's just talk about why this topic even. I think so many of us are in situations where we're with other people, and of course we're isolated, and I think that nerves can get raw, and when we look at the demands of our interactions, people feel or often request help or feel obligated to help. And so I think this is maybe an arbitrary distinction, but I'm using it as a way to discuss a dynamic that I don't otherwise know how to frame. So when we think of service, or when I think of service, I think of it as a choice coming from the heart, coming from a spirit of generosity and responsiveness to the needs of another or a circumstance. It comes from a place of choice rather than a place of obligation. And in this distinction that I'm building here, I'm thinking of helping as something that could end up engendering resentment, because you might give and give and give to somebody with an expectation that that giving will be returned, or that there is some feeling of beholdenness, or you are expecting at the very least acknowledgement and appreciation. So in this conversation, when I'm referring to helping, it's really talking about doing something for a payback, whether it is an emotional acknowledgement or return of some sort of favor, quid pro quo kind of thing, versus service that is without the sense of ego that is driving your contribution. So in service, if somebody says, no, I don't want you to do that, or I want you to do it this way, or this is what would be helpful, then the response is sure. The response is, okay, I'm happy to do that because I'm here to serve, versus I'm here to help, where I might be running my own agenda. I might have my ideas about what you need and what would best suit the circumstance. I may want to do it in a particular way. I may want to do it my way. And if there is resistance or objection to that, perhaps, then I would end up feeling resentful and feeling put upon or feeling unappreciated or any number of other feelings. So it's sort of it's a subtle dynamic because uh, we're in either situation, we're doing things or being ways to support someone else. It's just that the underlying driver is radically different. And I'm wondering, I don't actually know if this is the case for folks, but I'm wondering if people are feeling put upon in the context of helping, um, whether it is in person or online or through phone communication. Uh, and I would invite you to look at the motivations for doing the things you do. This is kind of a common theme. We're talking about choice and presence and awareness and what it is that motivates us to do the things we do, and to look at those motivations and evaluate them to see if indeed they are in alignment with who we are, and how we would like to best express ourselves in the world. So with service, service is when I personally get my ego out of the way and I respond to the needs of the situation without my own uh, my own overriding opinions. And I think that there's a reward in service. Service is its own reward, whereas helping is maybe looking for a reward. I can't say how many people I know who have said, I did this for them and I did that for them and I've given so much and I've given so much and I feel depleted and I just feel like I've been used up and abused. And there's a resentment that is bred from giving and giving and giving when that might not be serving. Uh, Serving sometimes is just respecting a person's need to not be helped. And I think as people that want to make a contribution, we can also often get caught up in the notion of making a contribution because that makes us feel good, and we're going to make a contribution whether a contribution is wanted or not. So this is just an encouragement to step back and ponder what the distinction might be between helping and service, and just looking at times when you may have felt like you were helping and giving and doing, and then ended up feeling tremendously resentful and sucked dry because your efforts weren't appreciated or acknowledged in the way that would have better fed you. So, what happens if we switch our helping paradigm to I'm here to serve, whatever that is, I'm out of the way. And when we are not in alignment with truly serving, the helping that we do is often more of a hindrance. So we get to look at how our interactions unfold and how it's impacting us. If we are depleted in that helping, then ultimately that's a good sign to be recentering or reconnecting or maybe choosing to do something different. So that's today's topic, and today is Thursday, and it is April 23rd, and I want to make a couple announcements that I'm really excited about. So I, along with 3 other women, will be starting we'll be doing our very first broadcast of The Broader Edge, which is a podcast that we're starting to have candid conversations that shape a new future. And we're really excited uh, to be engaging with each other on topics that matter, and from a perspective of awakened awareness, from a perspective of uh, positive outlook, but not positive just to paint a pretty picture, but to be looking deeply at contemporary issues and um, exploring what it is to be a conscious person moving forward and creating this future that we now and always have had the opportunity to generate. And so that's very exciting. It's this evening. It'll be on Enlightened World Network. We'll be going live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And the podcast will be on alternate Thursdays. So please tune in to join us. It's The Broader Edge. It's at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Enlightened World Network. And then at 7 p.m. this evening, for my podcast, Sustainability Now, we will be having a live hangout where we'll be screening the movie, The Story of Plastics. It's a full-length documentary about what's happening with the plastic industry and plastic pollution on the planet, and empowering people to be able to do something to impact that in a positive way. So that's at 7 p.m. And if you will go to Facebook to Sustainability Now, you'll see a link where you can uh, register for the event. You need to get tickets for this one. It's free, but it'll be Eventbrite tickets. And then when you get the tickets, we send you an email with the link to the Zoom meeting. So it's going to be movie and then conversation afterwards. And we're really excited to have Elisa Shagaratsky, who is a zero waste expert, who will be joining us for the conversation as well. So I hope you can join us for both events. That is The Broader Edge, our very first broadcast at 5 p.m. Eastern on Enlightened World Network, and at 7 p.m. the Sustainability Now Hangout with the movie The Story of Plastics. And of course, there's fabulous other programming here on Enlightened World Network, which I encourage you to check out. And I'm so grateful to have you join me. I have deep love and compassion for you, and hope you'll join me again tomorrow. Lots of love.